What's up, man? Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to the Ultimate 216 show. You see him. He is not a guest. He is the new co-host of the Ultimate 216 show. My homeboy, my brother, 20 plus years of friendship, Cecil Shorts the third. Good morning, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family, bro.
Man, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family as well. I'm so excited to be doing this with you, brother. It's crazy. Back at Collinwood, we used to talk sports, read a plain dealer, talk about everything all the time. Now we get to do it on this show. It's a blessing, and I'm excited about it, big dog. Really, really excited about it.
Man, we went from Collinwood to the inner city of Cleveland to one of the most growing Emmy Award winning platform, the
Mm.
Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, man, and we doing our thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we got to this point. Um, when I started this show, I always wanted somebody to do this with. Truth of the matter is, I'm not a number one, bro. That's not me. Like, I'm not a point guard in this game. I'm a two guard. I'm a three. I need somebody to kind of set me up and let me cook. That's not my style. But I prayed on this and I really didn't. I can't even say I was searching or just thinking too hard. It just kind of came to me. You know, you been my homie for a long time. Our energy is dope. Somebody I can bounce off of. You've played sports at the highest level. You know my level of fandom. So, with us both being from the inner city, just getting that fans' point of view and then that player's point of view on a lot of things. I think we can spice this channel up, this show up a lot, man. So make sure y'all subscribe to the Ultimate 216 Show, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show channel. Like, ring the bell, stay in the know for everything that we got going on. We got a fire show, man. I can't wait to talk to you about the cast. My homeboy, Ty Jerome. He been out here balling, man. We're gonna talk about the cast. How good are the Cavaliers? Are they good enough to beat the Celtics to make it to the championship? Are they even good enough to win a championship this year? Man, we're gonna have a conversation about Jameis, bro. And that's where we're gonna get started. So you know what's been going on, man. You see
Mm.
what's going on here in the city of Cleveland. And Jameis Winston has this like really, really like infectious energy. You know what I'm saying? He
Yes.
seems to be like this battery pack that seems to be like galvanizing the troops, like rejuvenizing people and just giving them the spark. You hear what he talk about, you just see everything about it. And you have the unique position of you've played with Jameis Winston. Like,
Mm.
talk about who Jameis is, the man, before we get to Jameis, the player. Because a lot of people think of what they see is fabricated out here.
The funny thing about Jameis is everything you see, that's really him. Like the awkwardness, like the faith, the wholeness. He's very genuine. He's very authentic. So what you see from Jameis is what you see on a daily basis, right? In the locker room, he's the same way. Maybe a little more goofy, maybe a little bit more silly, maybe a little more down to earth in the locker room. But what you see as far as his faith walk, as far as him talking to the players, motivating the players, him being one of the hardest workers in the building every single day, that's him, bro. Like, that's legit him. He's an awesome dude to be around. I was fortunate to be around him as a younger player, right? So to see his maturity now and to see how he handles himself now is a really, really, really. I'm just super proud of him, right? But what you see, honestly, bro, honestly, is what you get every single day. I mean, from eating W's, right, to the talking about we're representing the team in our helmet. Well, there's no decals in the helmet, so representing the Brown, like this, all this silliness, right? That's him. He's just a cool dude, fun to be around. It's contagious. Whatever he has is contagious, right? You want to be around him. You want to play well for him. He wants to go out there and play well, and he knows he can play well week in and week out. So, yeah, man, as a man, what you see is what you get. Really, really good dude.
The other day I was on Instagram and one of the reels came up from when he was back in his hometown and he was showing the reporters his house that he grew up in. And he was out there. He was like, "Yeah, man, we used to just drink the water out the faucet. You just had to watch out for the pedo. You had to watch out for the pee." I'm like, man, hey, James has always been like no
Oh yeah.
holds barred.
Oh yeah.
I used to like, just watch different things like when the Saints was good or and he was the backup quarterback at the time. I think, he started off as the starter, he got hurt, and then he was the backup. but he was always the last dude in the locker room because he wanted to make sure that he gave dap and high fives to every single player as they was leaving the field. And just sitting there watching it, I remember I had this thought cross my mind, like, damn, not too many backup quarterbacks take that approach. And, so like it's clearly this is truly who he is. You know what I'm saying? A natural born leader. And I believe that before he got to Cleveland, he possibly could have went a few other places and really been able to compete for a starting job. And I remember him saying he felt like God led him to the Cleveland Browns. And a lot of people, people don't really they trip on the faith talk or whatever the case may be sometimes, but I believe it. And sometimes it be factors that's unbeknownst to anything that got to do with the locker room. You know what I mean? That just leads you somewhere.
Man, everything about him is real. He's just a leader. You know what I mean? So when he says that the Lord left him there and he felt like he should be in the right spot, I mean, I can't knock him for that. I truly believe that because look at the situation we're in now, and it's interesting because he started off as and correct me if I'm wrong, he was three, right? He
Yeah.
was three. He was behind DTR and
So
behind Deshaun Watson.
in the offseason, before we even started the season, Jameis Winston name came up in trade talks.
Hmm.
We had a lot of quarterbacks on the roster, and there was a situation like he was the backup, and I think the game Deshaun got hurt for whatever reason. That particular game, he was demoted to the emergency quarterback, and DTR was to serve as Deshaun's backup.
Hmm.
Why the Browns made that decision in that particular time, I don't know. You know what I mean? You would assume that they thought James possibly could have been on the move then because of all the injuries that was going on. But like to me, he just seemed like of the quarterbacks that was in the room from day one, like he was the leader of that room, even with
Hmm.
Deshaun in it.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, and I'm pretty sure you've seen that. What was it like being out there on the football field playing? You know what I mean? Like, because you got that unique experience. It wasn't a long period of time, but what was
Hmm.
that like? Just Jameis the player, and you having that point of view.
Again, just a straight up leader, man. Like even I think I had him year two of his career, year two or year three. It was younger, like in 2016.
Mhm.
I can't remember where he was drafted. I think he was drafted 2015, if I'm not mistaken. He was first
Mhm.
overall pick in 2015, I believe, out of Florida State. But he was kind of like in that early age. You heard about the crab leg stealing. You heard about some of the silly things he was doing at Florida State. So me coming in, I just got cut from Houston. I'm like, all right, let's see what he does. Let's see who he is. He was a leader. Like the same way he gave high fives, like you mentioned for the Saints, the last one off the field. That's the same way he was at practice. That's the same way he was in Tampa Bay with when we were losing and winning. Right? He would find ways to work hard after practice, find ways to watch film with the receivers, find ways to stand up in the meeting rooms and communicate with you. And then his arm has always been his arm. Like he can make any throw. The
Yeah.
issue, the issue for him wasn't throwing the ball. It wasn't what throw he couldn't make. It was decision making, right? It was him thinking his arm was too good and trying to fit in his window. It was him thinking his arm was, he can make any type of throw with no matter what the coverage is. That was his issue early on, right? I mean, he had one year he had 35 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, right? It was him forcing the ball was the issue. It was never his talent. Super talented dude. Can make any throw on the field, communicates at a high level on the field, will pull you aside and say, hey, look for this as a receiver. I can go to him and say, hey, on this route, on the in cutting route, hit me in the second window. Like it was just great communication from him. But it's fun to see the maturity now. It's fun to see him grow up now. So he's able to have less turnover. Still some there, still some there, right? But much, much, much. He knows when he plays turnover-free football, he's a pretty good quarterback.
A random thought that just came to my mind when you was talking. Like throughout your career as a wide receiver, like you being a former high school quarterback, did that help that communication?
Oh, for sure, for sure. 'Cause I understood the drops. I understood,
Right.
quick game. I understood like where to be at the right time. It was about how do I get there, right? How
Yeah.
do I get there as a receiver? But yeah, it helped. It helped big time. Now when you talk about, hey, I play quarterback too. They were Jameis and them, whoever. They were like, man, whatever, get out of here. But man,
I
you
do
know what
tell
I'm
people that though. I'm like, y'all know Cecil was a quarterback though. Like, you know what I mean? Like Cecil was the quarterback. He could hit the baseball. The dude love to hoop. Like,
saying?
but so we have Sean King on our show.
Yeah, yeah.
every
That's a good
week, and
job. That's a good job.
he does a great job breaking down Jameis film game to game, and he said the Cleveland Browns has found their quarterback. Now you know the situation here. Deshaun Watson, he make a whole lot of money. The Browns was to cut Deshaun Watson. I think that's like a $80 million cap hit.
Ooh, how much, Earl?
About 80.
Ooh,
80, wait, 80 M's. 80 M's, man. You know what we can do in the city of Cleveland with 80 M's?
with 80? Ooh,
80 M's, man. The whole CMSD get new schools, new football fields, new
yeah,
tracks, new
yeah,
equipment, new everything.
yeah.
Like real talk. With Jameis, I'm starting to buy into okay, Jameis can be a long-term option. And I guess a long term to me is 2-3 years, right? A bridge to the next quarterback here. I think that when you got a quarterback in the room who's been a number one overall pick, he's thrown for 5,000 yards, 4,000 yards. He'd have won a Heisman Trophy.
Mhm,
He didn't, threw for 30 interceptions. He'd have been benched. He'd have been a backup quarterback.
mhm.
He's been through the ups and the downs. Then I think, man, just journeying through life, man. Like those is the people you kind of want, like leading the troops. You think Jameis is should be in the talks for 2025 and beyond for the Browns?
I think he should have the opportunity to show it. Right. I truly believe if you look at what, first of all, no offense to Deshaun Watson, but he's playing better than what Deshaun ever did when he was in the Cleveland Browns uniform, in my opinion.
No, that's
He,
facts.
he's giving the Browns fans a little bit of hope, like, okay, hey, Jameis can actually go out there and play. He can throw for 3,000 or 300 yards in the game. He can hit Judy down the sideline. He can hit Tillman. He can hit these different guys and open up the passing game, which will help open up Chubb in the run game once Chubb gets back in his rhythm, right? I think you got to look at the whole entire picture. And I think you got to look at this year's draft. You can look at Deshaun's contract. You can look
Uh-huh.
at this year's draft. You can look at the history of the Browns. They've been through so many quarterbacks, 20 plus, right? I never forget. You know this. Growing up, I would see guys at the Brown Stadium game with a Tim Couch jersey, but they have like a list of
Yeah,
quarterbacks going
yeah,
down and how many quarterbacks we've had. So in my opinion, it's like why rush? Why rush to draft another guy when you're already in lockdown with Deshaun? And eventually you'll get rid of him, right? That contract somehow. But why not just make the team better? And if you look at the draft this year, I think Shador by far is the best quarterback out there. But we all know Deion Sanders
can't
is
let that
in
dude come to
charge
Cleveland.
of Shador, and he's not letting him come to Cleveland. And rightfully so. Look at the history, rightfully so, right? I get that part. So if you can't get the best quarterback, why waste a first round pick on anybody else if you don't believe in him? Like why this why? Cam Ward I love, but I think he holds the ball way too long. I don't know if I'm ready to invest that much money in the first round to another quarterback again. I'd rather make the team better. The team is already solid. Make the team
Uh-huh.
better, stay healthy, and then build around Jameis from there. Like you said, another 2 or 3 years, or let him compete is what I'm saying. Let him compete for the starting job. Make the team better, add different pieces on offense, different pieces on defense, and then see how it goes. And he can be a guy. Maybe he's another Geno Smith, right? Kind of
Yeah,
can kind of revitalize his career with good pieces around him. You got two good running backs, you got some receivers, you got some young guys that can play. Maybe he's that type of guy because he can make plays. He's gonna put you in games to win. What you seen Monday night or was it Thursday night
Thursday. Yeah,
against the Steelers? He made plays for you to win that game, right? So the next 5 games for him, I think it's 5 games, maybe 6 games left.
uh,
It's an audition. It really is an audition, not only for the fans to watch and say, hey, we want this guy, but for ownership, for the GM, for the head coach, like Stefanski, be like, okay, hey, we can win games with this kid because you're going against a good Broncos defense Monday night. They're a solid
yeah,
defense Monday night, right? Jerry
yeah.
Judy's get to go back, but in my opinion, you give him that opportunity the next 5 6 weeks to show what you can do. Going into the offseason, I'm not gonna spend a ton of money on a quarterback. I'm gonna make this team better, and we're gonna ride Jameis out for the next couple of years. And then from there, when we really love a quarterback, maybe it's the 2026 draft that somebody like Arch comes out and you gotta have him, right? Whatever the case may be. Hopefully not in that position though. Hopefully not in that draft position, right? You got
Right.
to trade
Yeah,
up and go get him.
yeah.
But I just feel like Jameis has done enough right now, and I think he'll continue to do enough to be the quarterback for the next year or two until you find a guy that you really love, a young guy that you really, really love.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Like, I'm all for him competing. I know Albert Breer was on the radio last week, and he was saying, the Browns could bring in a veteran quarterback to compete with Deshaun Watson. And in my head, it was like, don't you mean a veteran quarterback to compete with Jameis Winston? Like, it'd be interesting to see how the Cleveland Browns go about that. But I think you're right. I think nothing can be handed to Jameis after 4 games. But again, this is like my fandom and that excitement of, okay, you try to project going forward. If he can play like this, or what will it look like at the end of this season when you've been a starter, you've had that time with Ken Dorsey and Kevin Stefanski. How will it look? Because to your point, you can be in the first round, you can get the best tackle available. Hell, if Travis Hunter is on the board and you seen those quarterbacks go first, you can get him. I doubt that, but it's like you can put yourself in a position to really address, some other needs on this football team. And quite honestly, one of these quarterbacks really might fall to the second round.
Yep.
Then like you're way more comfortable. Okay, I got my future quarterback in the second round, somebody that can sit under Jameis and learn. And the Browns might be in a situation to where you can retool this thing. Because at first I used to think like maybe this is a total rebuild, but maybe this is a situation to where they can just retool and keep going.
Ooh, a total rebuild. Why did you feel like that was needed?
I just felt like from top to bottom, like I think it was just in a moment frustration. If I'm being totally honest with you, like the whole Deshaun Watson thing, we never seen return on investment. When I'm looking at Andrew Berry draft picks, I can go Greg Newsome, I can go Jock, I can go Grant Delpit as quality football players. But then past that, I kind of struggle. Martin Emerson Jr. too. You know what I'm saying? But like outside of that, like I kind of struggle to find it. If you look on the offensive side of the ball, like he done have 4 or 5 drafts. There's no starters on the offensive side of the ball. And so just looking at that side of this, like, okay, I can deal with the swing and miss on Deshaun, bro. Because like GM swing and miss all the time. Look at John Lynch, right? In San Francisco. You traded 4 or 5 picks to move up in the draft to get Trey Lance. It didn't work out. But you hit in the draft, and it seemed like you hit on every other free agent. It just seemed like Andrew Berry got too many swings and misses when it count. And so like I'm really not even sure if I trust him to make the right pick in this situation. Like, did you watch the receiver documentary?
Yeah.
Bro, did you see when Amon St. Brown was just sitting there and he was counting the wide receivers that went before him?
Mm-hmm.
You know how I felt when I seen Anthony Shorts picture pop up? It's like, man,
what? The opportunity. Yeah, the opportunity. You're right. We're right.
And so it's like, okay, is it AB? Is it his scouts? Because I think like when he was in Indy as a scout, he was kind of the guy that kind of led to them drafting Andrew Luck. So in my mind, AB know how to identify talent, but maybe your scouts don't, and maybe you trusted the information that you getting back too much.
Could be. That's interesting.
That's tough, bro. That's tough, man. Big game against the Broncos. Do you think we win?
Ooh, Bo Nix is playing well. I think it's gonna be hard. I think it's gonna be hard. Now I'm not gonna knock anything. Jameis on primetime games shows up. I've been there before with him. He'll show up and he'll play. If he doesn't turn the ball over, they got a chance. But I think I got to give a nod to the Broncos right now. I think they're playing well. I think Bo Nix is playing at a high level. He's learning that Sean Payton system. And then their defense is crazy, man. Like, I think they're top 3 in the league in total defense right now, 3 or 4. So it's going to be a tough one, but it's a good audition. Again, good audition going back to Jameis. If you can play well against that defense on a primetime stage, you're winning over not only the fans, but that organization that can bring you back and really have a shot at being that quarterback.
You played in Denver?
Yeah. It's
How
hard
tough
to breathe.
is it to play?
It's hard to breathe. It's hard. That elevation is real. Like one slant route, I'm like,
like, wait a minute.
You get off the plane. What is going on? It's different out there for real. It's truly a home field advantage.
Historically, it ain't really been like, the best situation for the Cleveland Browns where they go there and they go to play. But we're gonna take a quick break. Hear from our sponsors. When we come back, bro, we're gonna talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. We ain't talked about the Cavs yet. I gotta know your thoughts on what they've been doing and how just how Ty Jerome, how Donovan Mitchell, how all those guys is balling. This episode of the Ultimate 216 Show right here on Thanksgiving Day is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get in a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play by play, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit fanduel.com/UCSS to join. You'll get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's fanduel.com/UCSS. Hey, bro, Cavs balling. Cavs balling. So again, the pre-recorded, you'll see this Thanksgiving Day. Cavs play tonight against the Atlanta Hawks, 7 o'clock. I kind of I looked at everything, and we are 10.5 point favorites. And I think the over under is 240 points, man. Like, this team is off to a crazy historical start, 17-1.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that really changed was Kenny Atkinson and his staff and a healthy Ty Jerome. I was there. Who did we play last? Who was our last game against?
We just won.
Toronto.
Yes.
I was there versus Toronto, and we talked to Kenny before the game, and one of my homies asked him, how much of the install of the offense has been put into place, because of course the Cavs has played so many games to start the season in such a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That 3-day period was like they longer stretched off, and Kenny said the offense is like 65 to 70% installed. And I got to thinking, these dudes seem like they clicking on all cylinders right now. How dangerous you think this team could be?
You know what? Well, first off, clap it up for Kenny Atkinson, man. He's come in, brother. He's come in, and he's picked the pace up. I mean, the 3-point attempts are up, and he's unlocked. He's unlocked the offensive game of Mobley right now. Last year it was like, okay, Mobley is awesome on defense. How can you get more from him on offense, right? And right now, as you got it up there, almost 18 points a game, 8 rebounds. He is balling. But it's because, to me, the fast tempo, the up-paced tempo of what Kenny Atkinson is bringing to the team. Now, Kenny's been balling since, if I'm not mistaken, he had his team rolling in Brooklyn before Kevin Durant and Kyrie ruined it. they like, we want Nash.
Hey, yo, so like apparently Kevin Durant and Stephen A. Smith got into it. And Stephen A. went on this podcast and was like, man, did you tell everybody how you got Kenny Atkinson fired? I was like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Hey, Stephen A. be going in on that podcast.
It was like, bad job out of me, though, because I'm not gonna lie. Like, the knock on him was he wasn't a player's coach. And like, he couldn't coach superstars. But I didn't really know the tea leaves for real. And then when you go back, like, no shade at Kevin Durant, but like, okay, like, you got to take that with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like Kevin Durant. Judgment is always the best, man. But just what he did in Brooklyn, you spend those 4 years with Steve Kerr, you win a championship as an assistant coach.
22.
Yeah, you learn how to like coach superstars. He talked about just how making basketball fun and how important chemistry was on and off the court. And you like see that with this team, man. But you talk about the pace of play, like you talk about the efficiency, right? I'm pulling things up right now. Right now, the Cavs and opponents' points per game, they are top 5. So they still holding things down on the defensive side. Like, they plus 12.3 in point differential, which is the best in the NBA. And they average 123.4, best in the NBA. Like, this team is finding a way to, make sure defense is the staple, but allowing that to turn into easy offensive points. Man, my boy Ty Jerome had 4 steals like last game. And like those transition baskets, bro, it just seemed like, man, the Cavs is just, bro, they killing everybody. It's like at any given moment, they can flip that switch and this game is over.
Well, I love how everybody, number one, I think they're deep. I think they
Mm.
really have a quality bench, right? And I love how you talked about the chemistry and Agassi learning how to coach superstars and learning how to really how important it is for his team to gel and have that chemistry on and off the court. This team seems like they have it, right?
Yeah,
When it comes to Karis LeVert and everybody else off that bench, like they do a good job knowing their role. So when they get in the game, they're not trying to do too much. Hey, I'm a 3 and D guy. I'm gonna make sure I'm a 3 and D guy. I'm D'ing up. I'm getting the steal like Ty Jerome hits. And then you got Isaiah Okoro. If he's open, he's hitting the three. Like you got guys coming in, Wade, knowing their role, knowing exactly what they're doing, and they're playing at a fast pace. That's kudos to Kenny, man. He understands what was needed. They're buying into the culture. It shows how much the players love playing for Kenny and how much he's really creating that chemistry with everybody, man. So if you ask me right now, I would say they're the best team in the East. But Porzingis coming back with Boston
I knew
makes me
you
a
was
little
gonna say that.
nervous.
I knew you was gonna say
He
that.
makes me a little nervous. I'm just being honest. What he can do, he can go outside, he can shoot, he can come inside, he can play defense, he can run the court. A healthy Porzingis really, in my opinion, scares me when it comes to the Cavaliers. A healthy Porzingis. I'll say this too. A healthy Porzingis is the only healthy Porzingis, and then once the Knicks start to gel a little bit more because they're defensive minded anyways. They're gonna try to get us off that 3 point line anyways, right? So
Yeah.
once they get some gelling more, those two teams a little scare me, but I'm confident that right now, and I want to hear your thoughts, but right now I think they're the best team in the East.
Uh, I think they're the best team in the East. I do. I don't think that loss to Boston like changes my mind on that. I mean, you lose to Boston by 3 points. First of all, you was down as many as 21, right?
Yeah,
And so,
yeah,
like, to be that scrappy to claw back to get back in that game, kudos to you all for that. You was down four guys coming into that game, and of course, they was down Porzingis. But the Cavs, in my opinion, under JB last year, I felt like matched up against the Boston Celtics better than any team in the East.
mm,
Now that's to be determined this year because New York they added some pieces and they still got to jail. They still got to figure things out. But when I look at what the Cavs can do, because we're so deep, I think I just and with the way our style of play is, knowing that we went into that game and our offensive install is only at 65, 70%. And this is a team in Boston who's been together. They got that chemistry. Yeah, they got the playoff experience, the championship DNA. But it's like we right there with y'all, and we learning a new system.
mm,
Y'all know y'all system already.
mm.
So okay, when y'all are fully healthy, and when we're fully healthy, and then we know our entire system at 100%. All right, cool. Mano a mano. Let's go out there and let's see who can do what. And I just think that the Cavs got more dudes that can get a bucket than than the Boston Celtics, and that ain't taking away nothing, from the Celtics. Of course, Tatum and Jalen Brown and what Derek White can do and
Yep.
what Pritchard can do, but like Al Horford, he touch and go. You know what I mean? He seems to always ball out against the Cavs for whatever reason, but I just feel like at this particular time, man, the Cavs are much deeper, like you alluded to, and it's a lot of dudes that can get a bucket. You talk about just everybody buying in. Clearly we'd have found the theme of this episode and this contagious energy because it's the same thing what's going on with the Browns now with Jameis. And you look at the Cavs buying into what Kenny Atkinson's system is, and then like you see in Donovan Mitchell as this selfless superstar, right? And I did you watch that episode of the Pivot?
Yep.
Yeah, and so like when he talk about the sacrifices, right? He know what he can do, but they need to know what everybody else can do, so that way when we get to that time, like we all systems go. That's another example of like contagious energy.
Yep.
Like when your superstar can check his ego at the door, and he Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah.
71 point Donovan Mitchell, that's
Yeah.
saying something.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's saying something because those type of sacrifices is going to ultimately get us to our ultimate goal. I think we can get there this year. I do. I do.
This
I don't
year.
think this. I don't think it's a fluke. I think it'll be tough. I can see us definitely getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. I can see us going 6 to 7 games with Boston. We get to it if we got home court advantage, and we get to a game 7 with Boston. All I'm saying is anything can happen. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if because people can say in the grand scheme of things, the regular season don't matter. But bro, if you look at the East, the way the East started off so bad, the Cavs got an opportunity to put themselves in a
Oh, for sure.
situation to where you can lock up one of those top two seeds
Early.
by the time early, and
Mm-hmm.
like you need that because Boston is
Mm-hmm.
for real.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can get there. Now, will they win it? I don't know, but it's one of those things, man. You look out west, I see OKC, and I see everybody else.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we're gonna see how that turned out, man. So looking forward to watching the Cavs tonight. Looking forward to watching some football today. We got 3 games. Before we get out of here and talk about what we thankful for, hot take. I'm tired
Oh.
of seeing the Cowboys on
Hey.
Thanksgiving Day. This been our whole lives. Like I get it's
Yeah,
tradition. It's
facts.
back. Who want to watch the Giants and the Cowboys today, man?
That's gonna be terrible.
Like I might
It's
I
gonna be
might
bad
peel up
football.
and play Call of Duty or something, man.
Who are the
Like,
starting quarterbacks? Is Cooper Rush and DeVito?
I think the Vito got hurt.
So, I don't know who that third guy is.
It's Drew Lock.
Oh, it's Drew Lock. Okay, Drew Lock. Okay, but still on Thanksgiving, while I'm eating my turkey and my cranberry sauce, and I got my mac and cheese and green. I ain't trying to watch, like you mentioned. I ain't trying to watch Drew Lock and
Nah,
Cooper Rush. Like I'm just
nah.
not interested.
They gotta switch that up, man. Like this cannot continue. And like Detroit is good. Detroit offense is fun to watch, so that's cool. But it's like, come on, man. Like y'all gotta start spicing this thing up a little bit more. Cause we want to see something different. Hey, bro, one episode down. When you all see this, jump in the chat, jump in the comments, give us some show topic ideas. I know some people, Cecil knows some people. We might have some celebrity guests pull up on us. We had Abdullah Mason on the show yesterday, bro. So
Ooh,
that was fun, man.
ooh,
Man, you gonna talk
young
about
boy,
that?
nice with it.
So like we got a lot of good things planned. Get some inner city Cleveland talk in there sometimes as it relates to what's going on here. Next episode, bro, we got to touch on Dan Gilbert putting that bid in for the WNBA team. You
Ooh.
know, I say we get that team. I say we put together a trade package. We trade for Caitlin Clark, and now all of a sudden it's a basketball time.
Ain't no way the Fever getting up Caitlin Clark. Ain't no way.
Hey, we get our team though. We might be able to get our girl from USC by the time she come out,
Oh,
man.
Juju.
Yeah,
Juju.
we get Juju by the
Yeah.
time she come out, man. We'll be talking, bro. But as we wrap up this episode and we get back to our families, what are some things that you are thankful for this Thanksgiving Day?
Man, number one comes to mind. It's off the top of my dome, just my parents, man. They me being a parent now and understanding how hard it is now, and probably because I got a bunch of kids, but but this
Hey,
understanding
that's an understatement. He said, y'all got a bunch of kids.
but
Hey, you want to tell the
understanding
audience how many kids you got?
nah, we'll talk about that later.
All right, bet.
But this understanding the sacrifice and the commitment it is to really pour into your children. Yeah, you know how it is, man. Just pouring
Yeah.
into your kids and trying to give them the best advice or the best discipline, holding them accountable, or just the best love, whatever the case may be. So I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for you, brother, for having the vision for this, because this is about to be so much fun, man. I can't wait to come on here every week with you. So off the top of my head, man, this those two things come to mind.
I'm thankful for you too, man. This is 20 plus years of friendship right here. It's crazy how God worked. You know what I mean? Bring things full circle. Like, we've shared a lot of time as teenagers together, and here we are as grown men that have been through life and, trying to put out a quality product and, serve our city breakfast, as we like to say. Very thankful for you. Thankful for my family, for my children, bro. But like, this morning I really woke up like just thankful for the gift of life. And I think thankful for the opportunity just to be a better person every day. I think like sometimes the people around me kind of get caught up in the profession of all of this. But like, bro, just striving to be a better man, a better son, a better father, a better brother, a better nephew, like a better friend, just to continuing to better myself so that I can get the things that I desire that probably can't buy one day. And I know God got that. And I'm just thankful for that opportunity, right? Because everybody like don't get that opportunity to wake up every day and to put their best foot forward. And me and man, faith without work is dead. And so whatever tools he's given me to really just really put in that work. I'm thankful for it, bro. And I don't take that for granted at all because it's dudes that's twice our age that still ain't figured that out.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? So
That's real.
those are the things that I'm thankful, bro. Also thankful for you all that took time out your Thanksgiving day to watch this episode. Don't forget, subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. If you follow us, if you don't follow us on X, you see it down there at Earl Da Pearl 216 X C Shorts 3. We'll be back at you next week, man. Hey, see, this is how I end every episode. I don't know if you got your own tagline, Jack, all that other stuff. But I tell everybody, man, be great and spread love. Being great come with a price. Spreading love, that's priceless.
That's a bar. That's a bar. Hey, I
That's a
just dropped
bar.
the mic.
No
Just dropped it
Kendrick.
right there.
We out.